Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie Fernape, and this is my draft analysis for Season 8 of the National Pokeball League Majors. Now, usually in these draft analyses videos, I always go a lot longer than I intend to, and I'm really going to try to be quick and efficient and not make this take longer than I want it to. I want this to be under 15 minutes. You guys can obviously see the timeline of this video and see how long it is. But as of now, as I'm making this, I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to try to get this under 15 minutes. Usually this is a lot longer than I want, and I don't want this to be like a 35-minute video. So I'm just going to hop right into it, and bam. Okay, so NPL, National Pokeball League Majors. So I'll describe the draft and the standings and how the season works. So, normal draft league, you guys know what draft leagues are by now. So there are 16 teams. There are 2 conferences. Each has 8 teams. You play each team in your conference once, and then you play 3 teams from the other conference. So that's a 7 in your conference plus the other 3. So that's 10 games, 10-week season. Bam, makes sense. So 16 teams, as I said, the draft works that, we had like a tiered randomization to have the order of which, to have the order that you pick what your draft slot is. So that sounds confusing. So it was tiered, so like Gypsy, who won last season, obviously, he gets the first pick at which pick slot he wants in the draft, so he doesn't necessarily get the first pick. Now he did select the first pick, obviously, because it's the best, and you get the wheel because we're doing a snake draft, which most leagues do by now. So we do a snake draft, so 1 and 16 are pretty good because they get the wheel, which is nice usually. So he got the first pick at what pick number he wanted, and then after that it was tiered into like coaches that didn't make playoffs that are coming back, and then coaches that did not make playoffs, and coaches that did make playoffs, and then I think new coaches. So I was like the 10th person to select my draft spot, so I wanted to get as high a draft spot as I could. I got the 7th draft spot just to get as good of a Mon in the first round as I could have, and I don't really mind being super close to wheels, and at that point nothing was super close to either end of the wheel, so I didn't want to get like 12 or something, which is kind of bad. So I think 7 is alright. So I don't think draft spot matters too much. You can still draft a good, in any spot you can draft a good team. This is a point draft, so each Mon has a different point value. Not every single Mon, but I guess it's like individual tiers that are only have an increment of 1. So the highest was, I think, 19, and the lowest is 1. So highest is 18, sorry. So I got 7th overall pick, so I'm just going to get my draft. And then there are cool graphics that were, I believe, made by Fry, so shout out to him. The graphics were really nice, so thank you. So, first overall pick with the 7th pick of the draft, it was just basically, I wanted to get the best Mon that was still around. Originally I wanted Mega Latios, but I was talking to some people before the draft, and Abe, who had the 4th pick, so he was in front of me, he said that he was going to get Mega Latios, so I was not going to get Mega Latios, so that was sad when I found that out. But I knew, like, prior to the draft, so I could at least plan out, and then I ended up getting Mew in my first overall pick. I had other options like Huron Black, Lando I, and Lando T. They were all around, but I really like Mew. Mew's just incredibly versatile. It's the most versatile Mon in the format, which is phenomenal. And I think for such a creative player like me, that will work very well for me because people don't really know what to expect from me. I'm rather unpredictable from what people say and what it seems. So I think Mew's a great Mon because it's so versatile and can do anything and can fill so many roles, and has a lot of different niches it can serve, and it's just a really cute Mon, and it can do just so many things. It just gets like so many moves and a lot of setup. It gets rocks, defog, roost, and stuff, and it's just a great Mon. I love Mew. I used it in Major PL Season 4. I feel comfortable with it now. I feel like I have the league experience and knowledge to be able to use it effectively. As like prior, like in the past when I had much less league experience, like in early in Major PL, I didn't feel like I would be comfortable if I wanted to draft Mew because I just wouldn't really know what I'd be doing, and I'd just be forcing it into certain roles. But I feel like now I have the creativity and the knowledge to be able to use it effectively. As I did in Major PL Season 4, I brought it, I think, almost every game, and I did very well with it, so awesome. So next Mon, this was the 10th pick of the second round, so the 27th or 26th pick overall. I got Infernape, so kind of classic pick. No one was really surprised. They all kind of expected me to get it, and I mean, I haven't used it that much in the past. I've used it in Major PL Season 1, Major PL Season 3, and NPL Season 7, so this is only the second time I drafted it in the NPL. It's now the 4th time overall I've drafted it, but Infernape's it's such a cool Mon. It's fast, it hits hard, gets good coverage, good stab, really good stab, like Fire and Fighting is just a good combination of stab typings with good Powerful stab moves like Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Flamethrower, Fire Blast is bad, and then Focus Blast, kind of, if you want to count that, it's also bad. And then Overheat's also cool. And then some other like cool setup moves like Flame Charge, Sword Stance, Nasty Blot, a lot of cool setup. A lot of cool things I can do, as well as another Stealth Walker. So Ape is great, gets priority in Mach Punch, Vacuum Wave, Fake Out. So Ape's just a great mon. I know I've used it before, but I'm comfortable with it. It came out kind of weirdly. And it just pairs well with Mew. It just gives me speed, another rocker. It's great. So third round, also the points will be displayed in the graphics, so you guys can see how many points I've left, how many I've spent, and yeah. So third round, I got Crocodile. This is a good ground type. I think having an electric immunity is vital in League format now, and it's just huge. So getting a good electric check, not just something that's quad weak to ice and just dies to any HP ice. This is a good bulky ground type that also has a very nice secondary typing in dark, so powerful knockoff, powerful earthquakes, a good rocker, pretty good taunter as well. It's just really good. It gives me another different speed stat at 92, so spreading out my speed, not spreading it out too much, but give me some good fast bulky mons that also hit hard. I really like what I have right now with these first three mons. Crook's just a very good mon. I've never used it in the past, but I'm really excited to use it here. I've always wanted to, and I finally get my chance, and I'm really excited. I originally wanted to get Hydreigon in the slot, but I got sniped by, I think, Aster, so, you know, a little bit unfortunate, but I was in a call with him at some point before he drafted it, so I knew he was going to get it. So, no, he didn't get, no, someone else got Hydreigon before him, I think, but he was planning on getting it in round 2. So, I did not get Hydreigon in round 3, got Crocodile, obviously. So, round 4, I got Metagross, so another rocker, 4 rockers. I love already having 4 rockers in my first 4 mons, because this means I don't have to be as stressed about picking rockers later, and I actually do not get another rocker on this team. 4 should be enough. I think at least 3 is good, and I have 4, so that's a good number there. I only have 1 Defogger right now, but there are an increased amount of Defoggers in this new game, so that's pretty cool. So finding more Defoggers shouldn't be too hard. Metagross is just a nice Steel type. It's kind of early for Metagross. It's not an amazing mon. It's pretty good though, and I think Steel types are there aren't that many, like not as many as you think, and not as many good Steel types, and I have not used it in the past, but I really want to use it now, and I'm excited that I have the chance now. And I think it's just a good mon. It's a good Steel type, and I think that is important to help check fairies and to help check powerful dragons, and at least just stop them from spamming Outrage, because that can be annoying. It's not super slow, not too super slow. I was combining my words there. At base 70 for the Steel type, that's alright. And then it gets Agility, which is cool. And as well, it's just really good coverage and another rocker, as I said. It's just a really nice mon. It is a second Psychic type, but I mean, usually drafts have 2 Psychic types, so that's not out of the ordinary. And it's just a good mon. Spreads out my speed a bit. So in the 5th pick, I wanted to get Suicune. I thought this would be a good chance to get my Bulky Water, but Gypsy got that, so no Suicune for me. So I got my Lodic, which is a pretty good alternative to Suicune. Pretty nice mon. It's pretty fat. Marvel Scale is nice with Flame Orb, as it was nerfed in this gen, or the burn though, so it's only 6%. So Flame Orb is a much more viable set, as that allows my Marvel Skill to activate, which means I'm even bulkier on the physical side, and I cannot get Toxic, which is pretty key. It means I'm not carrying leftovers, and I am taking 6% each turn, so if I'm healing, I'm really only getting 44% back, not 50, but that's still alright. It's still fat, and also it's pretty nice speed at, I think, 85? 81. Okay, close enough. It also gets pretty good coverage. It gets competitive, which is nice to lure out defogs, especially if I want a hazard stack, and that can at least scare some defoggers away, which could be really nice. And it's just also hits fairly hard. Base 100 special attack is nothing to scoff at. I believe that's the word I want to use. Nothing to laugh at. It also gets decent coverage and like Scald, Ice Beam. Then Hidden Powers can help hit some other stuff, and it's pretty cool. Next we got my Mega Pidgeot. So I wasn't really certain what Mega I wanted to get when I started this draft. As I said, I originally wanted to get Mega Latias, but did not. And once I didn't get that, I just wanted to get a later Mega and not want to get something immediately. And nothing really popped out that I want to get round 1 or 2. So I wanted to wait a bit. And I could have probably waited longer to get Mega Pidgeot, but I was looking at some other drafts, and other people seemed like they could have got Mega Pidgeot, and it fit on some other drafts. And well, I don't know if anyone else was going to get Mega Pidgeot. I could have like asked around and like talked to a lot of people to see what Mega they were planning on getting, but I didn't want to have them say Pidgeot and then me just snipe them. That seemed like a dick move, so I didn't really talk to anyone about their Mega, unless if they asked me. But I didn't go out of my way to ask anyone what their planned Mega was, because I didn't want to just be a dick and snipe them out of nowhere, because that would be rude. So I just got it when I feel like I needed to, because other drafts could have got it and it fit on a fair amount of teams at this point, so I just wanted to get it here, and I thought it was a pretty key part of the rest of my team, and I really liked how it fit on my team, so I just wanted to get it now, wanted to get it, and I'm glad I got it here. It's a good mon, gives me some nice speed. It's the fastest mon on my team at this point, and I think the fastest mon, yeah, it is the fastest mon on my team overall in my final draft, so that is something to note. This Hurricane does spammable with a base 135, yeah, 135 special attack, which is great. Heat Wave's good coverage too, and then he gets no guard, so Hurricane's not going to miss, which is phenomenal. Even like in the sun, still no guard will hit, or still no guard Hurricane hits, and it hits very hard. It's just great. It's easy to spam, and I love it. So next, we got my Whimsicott, which is a cool mon. It gives me a grass type, gives me a fairy type, so it just helps out and it fills some roles. It's just annoying. It also gets defog now with Prankster defog's really viable, so that's really nice. And it's a fast mon too, so my second fastest mon, and now my third mon above 100 speed, which is nice, and just pretty nice stab and just dual typing. It's not like the best fairy, as it's not something bulky, not something super bulky like Sylveon or Clefable or Fortress or anything else like that. But it's still a pretty good fairy, and still it's a nice pivot. This is my, I think, third pivot at this point with Mew, 8th, Pidgeot, and Whimsicott, so 4. So that's really nice. It's just a good mon. It's annoying and can be pretty versatile, so that's really nice, as well as Tailwind, and Memento could be nice too, especially if I want to make that one of my Z users, because that's the Healing Wish plus the Memento is just really nice. So that's cool. So next, I got Quillfish, which is a cool cheap mon. I think this is a great steal at only 5 points. It's great. It gets Intimidate, which is nice to shuffle Intimidates between Quillfish and Crocodile. It gets Toxic Spikes, it gets Spikes, Destiny Bond, a lot of other cool, not too many other cool techs, I just listed them. But it's nice. It gets decent dual stab. I know I already have a water type in Milotic, but this isn't really a good bulky water on its own, so that's why I think having Milotic and Quillfish is alright. And Quillfish is just a nice mon. It gets Taunt too, and decent dual stab. Doesn't hit very hard, but I mean, base 95 attack is viable, and it doesn't have very good bulk naturally, but Intimidate can help add some bulk to it. It's just a nice support mon. Even like a Swift Swim Rain Sweeper set could be kind of cool in a certain matchup, so that'd be nice. It's a nice mon, get some cool techs, and could be a nice little addition to my team, so I really like it here. It's a mon I've wanted to use in the past, but have not got the chance yet, and I'm glad I have it on my team here. I feel like I might have had it on some team I didn't draft in the past, but I dropped it. But I dropped it quickly. If I did, I don't remember. I haven't used it much, or at all, if I have. And then another mon that I have not used at all in the past, but am now using, is Electros. So this mon is pretty cool. I wanted an electric type that was not weak to ground, because I already have Mew, Metagross, and actually that's it. I didn't, and Quillfish actually. So I already had 3 mons weak to ground. I didn't want a 4th, so I got Electros here with the Levitate ability, so it gives me another mon off the ground, because I only had Pidgeot off the ground at this point, and I think a good draft should have at least 2 mons off the ground, so I'm glad I have Eel here too, to not be on the ground, be immune to spikes, T-spikes, and webs, which is great. It's a nice slow pivot, so a 5th mon in my Volturn core, which is great. It hits fairly hard, it's fairly bulky. With the Assault Vest, it can get some nice bulk and take special hits decently. It gets pretty good coverage, not quite amazing. It doesn't hit super hard, but it's just a nice pivot and a nice little mon to add to my team. It also spreads out my speed tiers, which is good, because right now my slowest mon before this was Metagross at 70, so I'm glad I'm spreading out my speed tiers a bit, and with some Trick Room potential from Whimsicott and Mew. Not Metagross. Metagross doesn't get Trick Room. Jolt had to learn that the hard way in Season 6. So then in the second last pick, so I still have a fair amount of points left. I was saving them. I wanted to get a good late pick, like a good mon to add another dimension to my team, really to add another big threat. I wanted something like Dragonite or Thundurus T. Maybe I would have had to get them like a round or 2 prior to this, but they went around 7, 8, 9, around there. So I didn't get anything like that. Nothing super expensive, but I did get 13-point Zygarde 10%, which is relatively cheap for Zygarde. It's a good mon. Could be 14. 13 is pretty good for it, though, especially this late in the draft. I think this is a good steal. It's another priority mon. I have so much priority on this team. I love it. I have Infernape. I have Zygarde. I have Metagross, Mew, even Quillfish, kind of. I mean, it gets Aqua Jet, so that counts. And then Mega Pidgeot gets Quick Attack, too, so that's something. This is a good mon. It's a nice addition to my team. I like to ground spam with Zygarde and Crocodile, and then that really helps deal with electric types, rock types, steel types that check Mega Pidgeot, so I really like my ground core with Mega Pidgeot. I think those nice three pair really well. And then also Ape can help deal with Steel types and Rock types by pressuring them with Fighting Stab. I think Zygarde's just a good mon. Bringing back the Zygarde Ape offensive core from last season. They pressure some of the same mons like Bulky Waters and just like fat stuff, kind of like Hippowdons. The fat stuff in general, they can help pressure together, and hopefully one of them can weaken it down for the other to late game sweep, and they just work well together, I think. So it's a nice little combination of mons that I got again. So glad I have Zygarde back. I feel like I didn't use him to its full potential last season, because last season my team was just it was a little too much balance and a little too much bulk and not quite enough bulky offense for Zygarde to come in and pick up kills as much as it should be, and I feel like this team suits it better to just come in and pick up kills. So I think Zygarde's a little better on this team, and I'm excited to use it again. So last slot, only have 3 points left, so I'm not going to get an amazing mon, not a super essential mon to my team, but something that I feel like can help me out and just gives me some more resistances and some more checks to certain typings and things, and that is Abomasnow. This isn't really a Hail team at all, but Abomasnow is just kind of cool. It gives me an Ice type, which could be helpful, because Ice is just surprisingly really good offensively. Just those Ice weaknesses really add up on you. Like I have 4 in this team, yeah, because I have Mega Pidgeot, Crocodile, Whimsicott, and Zygarde. So those Ice weaknesses did sneak up on me. It does give me a second resistance to ground, because my only one prior to this was Whimsicott, because I don't have a bug type. So that's good for, well, I guess for arrow spam, but I have one of the 2 mons in the game that clicks arrows, so that's good. It's just nice. It also gives me another water resist, because I'm a little bit weak to water with Ape and Crook, and that's actually it. I mean, my dragon does not resist water, so, you know, it helps to have another resistance to that, as well as, I mean, it's weak to fire and weak to flying and rocks and some other types, but it gives me more priority. Pretty cool dual stab. It is unique, only him and his pre-evolution get that typing of grass and ice, so it's pretty cool. This video is a little longer than I want it to be, but it should end soon, so not super long draft analysis, that's good. It's just kind of cool. If I don't want to run Snow Wearing, I can run Soundproof, which is viable, and it gets some viable moves and could be used in certain situations. I'm going to bring it at least once. I will. Hopefully. I will. So I'm excited to use Abomasnow. It's not like a meme. Like it has viability, but it's not going to be brought too much. But at some point, I think I will. I will bring Abomasnow at some point. So be afraid. Don't underestimate Abomasnow. It's a threat, kind of. So hopefully you guys like the draft. I really like it. I think it's better than last season's draft. Last season's draft was still pretty good, and still I used it pretty effectively. But I think this draft is even better, and I think better in the gen and in the format we're in now, and I think I can use this draft effectively. I really like the team. It's a nice mix of mons I've used in the past, like Mew, Infernape, Whimsicott, Zygarde 10, and then it gives me some new mons I wanted to use, like Mega Pidgeot, Crocodile, Metagross, Quillfish. It's just a nice team. I think it balances pretty well. It's got some good bulk, while also having speed and offense and priority and hazards, and I like it. I think this is going to be a good team. There are some flaws. I'm not going to name them, because I don't want to just say, okay, here to my opponents, here's what's wrong with my team, so exploit this. I'm not going to state them, but I might try to amend them in free agency in some future weeks. Now that I've started building, I've seen some of my flaws, but I think it's still a good team, and I like what I have here. So thank you guys for watching. If you watched the full video, hopefully you guys like the team. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, so I don't know why I keep saying that. But week 1 will go up Sunday, March 4th. I'm looking at my calendar and counting days. The 4th of March. That is a Sunday. We normally upload on. Do we normally upload Sundays? I think we normally upload Sundays, anyways. Either Sunday or Saturday is our upload day. I think Sunday is the usual upload day. One of those days, I forget. I'll correct that if I'm wrong. In the week 1 battle. I think I'll do a team builder in a separate video. Not certain of that yet. We have to do team builders again, so I will be doing team builders, but you guys will see what the deal is with that. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in almost a week. It'll be under a week that you guys see my week 1 game. That is versus Gray, because that'll be a good game versus Regulator and his Los Angeles Clefable. I will see you guys then.